This is my next project. I'm going to start this one this week and just giving you guys an overview of how it looks now and what I want to do with it. This is my Cat 336E, sorry, and it's about 6-7 years old. It's pretty bulletproof as far as models go, but I think it's time for a rebuild and a refurb. There's a lot of little stupid stuff on it that you know, when I wasn't as good at building things as I am now, that I did and I regret, like drilling all these holes to try to find the angle of the pistons, gluing the arms together instead of welding them. That's one thing. Another thing is these little screws, they're all stripped out. You know, the ones back here that hold the top of the body on. So I want to fix all those. Just give it a general repaint. Another thing is, I don't know if you can see the rat nest that's in here, but all the wires. Screwdriver. 1 second and we'll come back. Okay, as I was saying, looking at the rat's nest of wires that's up in here, you know, there's all these wires here. These guys are for the... Well, this is the rat's nest of wires that are inside the excavator. I got to clean all this up. This is part of my refurb. There's so much unnecessary stuff in there. Like these wires here that used to go to lighting. I don't know if you can see them, like that one, and see these guys here. You know, this is the servo wires for the valves, which are hiding right here in the corner. I don't know if you can see them. Here they are. And so that needs to be cleaned up. The other thing is the little rat nest of wires that are down here. You know, because I got to get to this guy because he is loose. So the other thing I want to do is move this pump over here because there's nothing in here. This is completely empty. So I'm thinking about doing that, and I don't know what I'm going to do with this area. This is empty. But that's my project. Then on top of that, like I said, all these screws are stripped out. What I might do is JB weld a couple of bolts behind these screws, so these holes, so I can screw them in and out, and I'll worry about them stripping. Let's see, there's a list of things. I want to make a radiator because I think this needs cooling. Mr. Fan here is not totally doing what he should. It does the job, but it's really only doing the job for the pump motor. It's not really doing it for the actual hoses, because when it comes back to the tank, the oil is very hot. So that's the next thing. And the last thing is all the brass lines. I just made this piece here the other day, but all the brass lines I'm going to go back through, try to clean them out. You know, soak them in some kind of degreaser overnight or something. Try to get all the old oil out of them. All the brass, handrail, this little ladder. I'm just going to sand them and polish them, make them look good, and just leave them. I don't think they need to be painted. And I don't have luck painting brass. It always ends up looking like this anyway. So I'm going to leave that. And the last thing is, I don't know if you can see them, but there's lights hidden all over this excavator, like this big huge piece. I used to work at a sign shop, and this is one of the lights that goes, one of the LEDs, sorry, that goes inside of outdoor light, like a street sign or something like that. So it's incredibly bright. There's also one that's, turn this around. There's also one right here that I need to hook up. These guys here used to be lights until I've moved this this mounting point here. So I'm thinking about taking this and moving it back to one of these holes, which I need to fill in. And so there's a lot of cleaning work. And I think also all these little wires, and they're gonna go away. I don't ever use them anyway. This was for an attachment I think I only used like 3 times. So, yep. And if in the comments or on the clubs or whatever I posted, if you guys can give me an idea of how to do a quick connect other than just this little servo, that would be cool. I'm thinking something with a cable so I can put the servo back inside the body. Well, that's it for this video. Next video you'll see is it all taken apart. Okay, here's all the electronics that's in the excavator. There's 4 speed controllers. There's one for the pump, one for the turntable, the right track, and the left track. This is the slew motor, the big huge computer fan, and of course the ESC and the BEC. So those are the electrical components in there. So my next job is to take all the hydraulics off. Hydraulic system is actually really simple. Here's the valves, there's the pump, and of course all the hoses, all the lines, and the cylinders. And after that, I can take the house off to get to the track frames and clean these guys up and start painting.